This conference will now be recorded.
In this case, today in this session, we are going to discuss about delete operation. Delete operation. My requirement is we are working with the case object. We are working with the case object. Case is a standard object. Okay. Suppose user is trying to deleting a case record. Okay. User is trying to deleting a case record. Okay. 1 second. Status is equals to case status is equals to escalated, and the user is trying to deleting a case record, then we have to display an error message. This is my requirement. My requirement is, suppose user is trying to deleting a case record. While deleting a case record, if case status is equal to escalated, then we will not allow the user to delete a record. We will not allow the user to delete a record. This is my requirement. Okay, my requirement is, suppose user is trying to delete a case record. If status is escalated, then we will not allow the user to delete a record. Okay, but for the system administrator, the user the current user profile is a system administrator, then we have to allow him. For other users, we will not allow to delete this particular record. This is my requirement. Okay, this is my requirement. So we are working with the case object. Case is a standard object. Suppose user is trying to deleting a case record and status is equal to escalated, and current user profile does not equals to system administrator, then we have to throw an error message. This is my requirement. Okay, this is my requirement. Now I'm going to the developer console. How we will achieve this requirement? Workflows is not possible, process builder is not possible, flow builder is possible, and the next option is trigger. Coming into the trigger, yeah, trigger is possible because of we are performing the delete operation. Delete operation, workflow rules, process builder, validation rules is not applicable. Okay, it's not applicable. So now coming into here, file, new, and trigger. Which object we are working with? The case object. What is our trigger name? Any name. I'm just putting like a case trigger, restrict, any name, it doesn't matter. Now my object name is nothing but case object. Click on the submit button. Okay, click on the submit button. So here you have to observe, whenever we are trying to creating a trigger from the developer console, by default it will come into before insert operation. Now we are trying to changing into before delete operation. Okay, why before delete? We'll discuss after case. We'll discuss today. Okay, now coming into what is my requirement? Suppose user is trying to deleting a case record, and in that record status we have to check the status. So finally we need a status field, right? How to get the current record? Get the current record? Current record data will get to trigger.new, right? By using trigger.new we will get it, right? And here case records here, case record. Okay, for loop and open bracket, close one. But here only one change is, whenever we are trying to deleting a record, the system treat that this record is going to delete. So the system treats that this record is going to delete. So instead of trigger.new, we should use trigger.old. We have to use trigger.old. Why old? Means trigger is going to delete. Okay, so that's why the system treat that this is a old data. That's why here we have to use trigger.old. In delete operation, trigger.new is not available. Trigger.new is not available. Trigger.new means it will give the current record. It will give the current record with the latest data. But we are trying to deleting a record. While deleting a record, the system treats that this is a old data. So the system, how it is going to capture is nothing but by using trigger.old. By using trigger.old. Now what is my next step? What is my next step? Trigger.old means this record. User click on the delete button, then my delete trigger it will fire, then it will capture that current record. That current record it will capture into trigger.old. Then what is our next step? From that record, if status is equal to escalated, if case status c record dot status is equals to escalated escalated, then what is my another step? We have to allow for the system administrator. If I will go to the case object, I will click on the delete button, then it will check who clicks on that button. The user clicks on that button. What is user profile? We have to first get the current user. Based on the current user, we have to get the current profile. If the current user profile is a system administrator, then we will allow him. Then we will allow him to delete a record. Otherwise, we will not allow him to delete a record. So how to get the current user profile? How to get the current user profile is nothing but first thing is get current user ID. Get current user ID. How we are going to get the current user ID is nothing but we have user info dot get user ID. See here, user info is nothing but it is a class. It is a class. In this class we have one method is there. This method what it will do is nothing but it will give the current user. Which current user? So whenever we are doing any operation on the front end, right? Whenever we are doing any operation on the front end, then trigger it will fire, right? Who is doing that operation? Which user is doing that operation? That user we have to capture is nothing but that is called current user. How to get that current user information is nothing but user info dot get user ID. User info dot get user ID is nothing but it will give the current user info. Current user info. While declaring the variable names, we have to provide proper names. Okay, we have to provide proper names. This is current user info. Current user info. We have to get to the current user info. How to get to the current user info is nothing but here you have to observe user info dot see how many methods are there. Suppose we want to get to the current user first name, last name, what is his locally name, organization ID, profile ID. Okay, get profile ID, get session ID, get session ID. So whatever we want, these are the available method. These are the available method. See, user info is a class. In that class, these are the methods. These are the method. So here we are trying to getting the current user ID. Now what is my next step? I want to get the current user profile ID. So how to get the current user profile ID? Select ID name from profile one second. Okay, from profile where where you have to go to the profile object. Go to here, open one second, open, go to objects, go to profile. See how to open an object. Go to profile object. This is a profile object. In this profile object you have to verify any fields are there related to. See here, user type created by is there. Where is user ID? Some field is there. User ID profile where ID. One second. Where is this? Okay, one second. Not user ID. User info dot get profile ID. Yeah, not user ID. It will give the current user ID. Okay, we need current user profile ID, right? User info dot get profile ID. See here. Suppose we want to get the current user profile. current user profile, not user id. I'm trying to getting the user id, not user id, because of here in this object there is no user id field coming into object. Go to open objects. Which object we are trying to open? Profile object, right? Go to your profile. See here, go to your profile. How many objects, how many fields are there here? How many fields are there? How many fields are there? See here, these are the fields. There is no field like user id, so there is no field like user id. That's why here we are trying to getting the, we are trying to getting the current user profile id. We are trying to getting the current user profile id. Profile id. Now select id comma name from profile means what it will do? It will give all the profiles. How many profiles are there? How many profiles are there? One second, one second. Yeah, it will give all the profiles. Okay, it will give all the profile. Based on this one we will get to the current. Okay, yeah, it will give select id comma name from profile means it will give all the profiles. How many profiles are there? It will give all the profiles. But what we want, select, I mean what we want, whatever the current user profile id rate equals to, it will give the current user profile information. See here, profile, current user, current user profile name. Okay, current user profile name. Then what I will do, I will come to here and I will add the condition, and condition I am trying to add. If current user profile name does not equals to system administrator, system administrator, then you have to enter into this particular loop. It will enter. Then what we have to do, we have to throw an error message. We have to throw an error message. Here record dot add error message. You don't have rights to delete a record. To delete a record, please contact system administrator. Please contact system administrator. You don't have rights to delete a record. Please contact system administrator. Try to save this one. Okay, try to save this one. So what we are doing, suppose user is trying to deleting a record. User is trying to deleting a record. Profile, what is here? Yeah, user is trying to deleting a record. While deleting a record, what we are doing, we are taking that record. How we are taking that record? By using trigger.hold. We are trying to taking by using trigger.hold. So whenever we are doing delete operation, how the system it will capture the current data is nothing but by using trigger.hold. Here c.record.status is equal to escalated, and the current user, who is the current user? When this trigger is firing, I will go to the case record. I am trying to click on the delete button, then my case record it will fire, right? Who click on this button? Current one user. That user we will call it as a current user. That current user profile is not system administrator. Then only you have to enter. The current user profile does not equals to system administrator. Then only you have to enter. Then only you have to enter. That is our case. So how to get to the current user profile is nothing but we have user info is one class is there. List set map we have classes are there, right? Like that user info is also one class. From the user info class we are trying to getting the profile id. Current user profile id we are trying to getting. Yes, we are getting the current user profile id. Now what we are doing, the current user profile name we are trying to getting. How to get the current user profile name? Select id name from profile where id is equals to this one, where id is equals to this one, where id is equal to this one. This is nothing but it will give the current user profile information. So current user profile name does not, profile name dot name, see here, dot name does not equal to system administrator. Then what we are doing, how we are going to restrict the user from the deletion? We have to throw error message. We have to throw error message. In this way we are going to restrict the user. Okay, now we will just go on to test it. Go to here, Case status is equal to, I'm trying to changing the case status is equal to escalated. Click on the save button. Now click on this delete button. When click on the delete button, what it will happen? The system, it will check any triggers are there in the case object. Directly it will go to the trigger, or how it will check? There is some order of execution are there. In that way it will go to the triggers. So in that trigger it will check any delete operation trigger is there. Yes, delete operation trigger is there. It will execute. While execute, what it will do? It will capture the current user profile ID. What is the current user? Who click on this button? It will capture the current user profile ID. That current user profile ID profile is system administrator. Then we will not allow him to delete. See here, click on this delete button. Click on this delete. You don't have rights to delete a record. This is this error message, right? You don't have rights to delete a record. I think already one more trigger is there. Go to edit object. You don't go to here, case triggers. Already one more trigger is there, I think. That's why it is showing that message. Case trigger, case trigger. Okay, not this one. Okay, click on this one, restrict case. See, this one is there. I'm trying to deleting this one. Okay, I'm trying to deleting this one. Now go to here. Go to here. Now we are trying to testing this one. See, it will not throw any error message. Click on delete button. See, record is getting deleted, right? Why it is deleted? My current user profile is a system administrator, right? For example, I will remove this condition. I will remove this condition. See, now I'm trying to save my trigger. I'm trying to save my trigger. Go to case object, go to here, go to here, escalated, click on the save button, and now click on this delete button. See here, this time, see, you don't have rights to delete a record. Please contact system administrator. So now we are understand, right, how we are going to restrict something from the current user or some other user. We have to get that user ID, and based on that, sorry, we have to get the profile ID. Based on that profile ID, we have to get the profile information. From this profile, we have to use dot name does not equal to system administrator. So how we are going to restrict is nothing but we will just go and use add error message. Add error method. For example, assume that I am trying to using new. Let's see what it will happen. Let's see what it will happen. In delete trigger.new, it will not accept. Let's see what it will happen. I'm trying to deleting this one. Click on this delete button. See, there is a problem saving the record. You might not have permission to edit it, or something is there. Some error here it is coming. Okay, you have to go and activate the debug logs. Okay, you have to go and activate the debug logs. Okay. Here we are using trigger.old. In interview also sometimes they will ask, so trigger.new shall we use in the delete operation? No, trigger.old only it is available. Why? Means this record is going to delete. The system treat that this record is going to delete, so this is a old data. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay. Now coming into here, I'm working with the account object. Account is a standard object, right? Account is a standard object. I'm working with the account object. My requirement is, suppose we are trying to creating a new account record. Suppose we are trying to creating a new account record. I'm trying to creating a new account record. Click on the save button. Okay, I am trying to creating a new account record. While creating a new account record, based on this account details, we have to create a contact record automatically. My requirement is I am working with the account object. Account is a standard object, right? Account is a standard object. Okay, my requirement is, okay, while creating a account record, while creating an account record, while creating an account record, okay, while creating an account record, based on those details, based on those details, create a contact record automatically. Create a contact record automatically. This is my requirement. I am trying to creating one account record. So we will enter all these details and click on the save button. We will enter all these details and click on the save button. Then what we are expecting from the system? Account record is created. Then you have to create a contact record automatically. That is my requirement. That is my requirement. Here, how many objects are there? First of all, how many objects are there in our requirement? Account object is there and the contact object is there, right? Account object is there and the contact object is there. Okay. Then what is our operation? What is our operation? Operation is nothing but insert operation, right? Insert operation. Okay, we are trying to creating a record. Creating is nothing but insert operation, right? Insert, how many inserts are there? Before insert and after insert. Here, which insert we will select? We will select after insert. Why we will select after insert? So before is nothing but whether it is a before insert, before update, before delete. We are working we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is also in the same object. You observed previously, we work with the sales team. The sales team data, when we are populating while creating an account record, we are fetching the data from the different object, but finally we are populating the data in the same account object only, right? So we are working with the case object. So and finally where we are expecting our result, our error message, where we are displaying in the same case object only, right? You are working with one record, you have to display the data, you have to populate the data, or you have to display error message in the same object, in the same record. So that's why we are saying we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is also in the same object. Result is also in the same object. But here what coming into here, what is after case? What is after case? We are creating a record, we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is in different object, and the result is in different object. Case record, account record is successfully created. Then I want to create my contact record. So then we have to work. The current record is successfully committed in the database, committed in the object. So it is successfully saved. Then you have to do your operation. That's why we are going to use after. I am trying to creating a account record. Account record is successfully inserted. Then you have to create a contact record. So anyone will ask when we have to go with the before trigger and after trigger is nothing but whenever we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is also in the same object, I mean before this record is committed. You go to here, what do you mean by committed and all those things? One second. So I am trying to creating, see here, this is my account record. You will enter all these details, your account name, some other name, you will enter all these details. Here we have before inserted trigger is there, before inserted trigger and after inserted trigger is there. Okay, finally what we are doing, we are saving the data into the object, into the table, right? This is my account to table. You are enter the data. Once click on the save button, what we are doing, this data we are taking and we are saving into this account to table, right? This account to table we are storing account name, type, rating field created by some other fields we are trying to saving. You are enter the data, click on this new button. Yes, this page layout it will open. You will enter all these details. And click on the save button. Then what the system it will do, this data it is going to store into this particular table, so it will store into this particular table. Before storing, that is nothing but before trigger. Once record is saved, once here account name, type and everything is stored, that is called committed. Once committed, then after, then some other triggers it will fire. These are nothing but after case. Before saving into this object, before saving into this object, once record is saved, I want to perform. Before saving, before deleting, I am trying to deleting a record. Before deleting, you have to check it. You have to check it. So once delete, I have to check it. Before creating, we want to update the data. If type is equal to something, then I want to update rating is equal to what? That data here it will update. It will update. Before updating, before saving, you have to do some checks. You have to do some checks. Yes, everything is fine. Then you have to save the data. Once data is saved, yeah, sorry, my side only internet problem. You just observe here. So once record is saved, then what we have to check it here? No, nothing yet to check it. You have to check in different object. That's why once record has been committed, once record is committed, then we are working with the different object. That is nothing but after case. That is nothing but after case. Any questions or any confusion now? We are guarantee, right? Suppose anyone will ask, what is the difference between before and after? How we will say? Suppose we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is also in the same object. Result is also in the same object. I mean, otherwise some people will say we are creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record before saving the record into the database. Before committing the record into the database, we want to perform something. We want to perform something in the same object. So anyway, two ways they will explain. Suppose we are trying to creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object, and the result is also in the same object. Result is also in the same object. That is one way. The second way is, suppose we are trying to creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record in one object. Okay. Before saving the result, before committing the result into the database, then we want to perform in the same object. Then we want to perform in the same object. Then we will go with the before trigger. After case means operation is one object, that records has been committed. Then we have to perform the result in different object. So any questions or any confusion now we are sure, right? Why we have to go with the before case and why we have to go with the after case? How many, and one more thing, in our requirement, how many objects are there? It doesn't matter. Finally, where we are performing our operation and where we are expecting the result. That is the case. Here, where we are performing our operation in account object, where we are expecting the result in different object, contact object. While creating a account record, we have to create the contact record automatically based on those details. That is my requirement. So two objects are there, but where we have to write a trigger in account object, which operation, which event we have to use, which event, before event or after event? After event we have to use. Why we have to use after event? So we are doing our operation in account object. So that record is saved, that record is committed. Then we have to perform. Where we have to perform? In different object. So that's why we will just go and use after case here. So finally, my first statement is trigger, create, contact record, on account object after insert case. Okay, after insert case. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Now we are guaranteed, right? when we will go with the after case and when we will go with the before case. Simply one thing, result is one object and sorry, operation is one object, result is in different object, then we have to go with the after case. Now the next one is, suppose we are trying to creating an account record for each and every account record, for each and every account record, for each and every account record. So how to get that current record? How to get that current record? See, trigger.new means that is the current record, right? The current record is which record? Which record? What is our requirement? Suppose user is trying to creating one account record. For that account record, you have to create a contact record. So I'm writing a trigger for this one. I'm writing a trigger for this one. Okay, I'm writing a trigger for this one. So in the trigger, how to get the current record? So trigger.new. And one more thing, workflows and the process builders are applicable only for after insert operation. Before saving a record, no, we will not do anything. Before insert and before update is not possible with the workflows and process builder. Suppose some people will ask what is the difference between workflow and the process builder and the triggers is nothing but first the difference we have to say, triggers are applicable for before insert, before update, and after insert, after update, and delete operation. But workflows and process builders are applicable only for after insert, after update. There is no before and there is no delete. That is the first difference we have to see. What is the difference between workflows, process builder, and a trigger? This is the first difference we have to see. Yeah, we'll discuss that. Now coming into here, trigger.new. Trigger.new, this is nothing but account ACC. Okay, the ACC. Now see, we are taking the current record. Now for the current record, what we have to do? We have to create a contact record. We have to create a contact record. Go to here. Go to here. How to create a contact record? So go to here. Click on this new button. Click on this new button. While creating a contact record, what are the mandatory details? Mandatory details. Last name is mandatory, right? So what I will do is contact ct is equals to new contact, right? New contact. Suppose we want to create one record programmatically, we have to use the API name of that particular object, right? Contact is a standard object. What is the API for the contact? Contact only. I want to create a contact record automatically. How to create a contact record automatically? Ct dot, what are the mandatory fields? Last name is a mandatory. Ct dot last name is equals to test, and the next one is I will just go and do insert operation, right? Insert operation. So we will change here. Last name, what I will do, I will always add it as a account name, acc dot name. Then what is the main important step here? The second step, we have to create a contact record. For what we have to create a contact record? User is trying to creating, see here, user is trying to creating one account record. This is account record. For this account record, we have to create a contact record. This is my contact record. So we have to link account and contact. User is trying to creating one account record. User is trying to creating one account record. For this account record, we have to create a contact record automatically. We have to create a contact record automatically. So how to create a, how to link? See here, you have to observe the linking is very important. Here we are creating a contact record, that is fine. But what is our requirement? For this account only you have to create, right? For this account only we have to create, right? This is an account. For this account only we have to create. How to link? That is nothing but in the contact object we have a lookup field is there here. Account name, it is a lookup field, right? Front end, it is a name. Back end, what is the API for this one? ct dot account id, ct dot account id. See here, we are trying to creating one account record. Okay, while creating an account record, you have to create a contact record. While creating a contact record, last name is same name as account name, and this contact record you have to link to this particular account record. Now the last step is we will not to write a insert statement, SQL queries, update statement inside for loop. Inside for loop. So suppose we are trying to doing 100 account records, this insert operation it will perform 100 times. Then what we have to do? We will just go and add a list here. List of contact, right? List of contact, list of contacts to insert. Okay, list of contact to insert is equals to new list of contact. New list of contact. Okay, now what I will do, I will just go and add it here. Add of CT. We are adding to the list. We are preparing one contact. We are preparing one contact. This contact, we are not performing insert operation here. We are adding this contact to this particular list. We are adding this contact to this particular list. And now what we are doing, I am coming outside of the for loop. Outside of the for loop, see here, outside of the for loop, list of contacts to insert dot is empty means if it is not empty, then what we have to do, we will just go and use insert operation. Insert list of contact. So here you have to observe, suppose I am directly using insert operation, then what is the problem here? Insert context, suppose I am doing data loader, 100 records for a batch I specified. So what it will do, trigger.new, it will take the 100 records. From the 100 record, the first record it will take. For the first record, it will come here. Suppose I will not add this line, it will create one in the contact record. Yes, it will create a contact record. What is your problem? Your problem is when creating a contact record, what it will do, the order of execution, again each and everything it will file. Validation validation rule, workflow, everything it will find, the order of execution. Again it will go to the second contact record. So trigger.new means it will collect the batch size 100 at a time. From 100 it will take the first record. For first record it will create a contact record and it will insert. Again it will take the second record, and for the second record again it will go and insert. Each and every time my triggers are firing. That is not the best practice. Yes, what do you, what will happen if each and every time the triggers it will fire? What is your problem? Performance is very slow. So while performance is very slow means it will take more time to insert those 100 records. So that's why what we are doing, yes, user is trying to creating 100 records. Take that 100 record. From that 100 record, you have to take the first record and prepare a contact and add that contact to this particular list. Again, take second account. For the second account, also prepare a contact. Third account, take third account and prepare a contact and add to the list. Fourth account, like that. Finally, 100 contacts it will add to the list. Finally, it is coming out of the loop. Finally, it is coming out of the loop. And here we are trying to checking whether it is a empty or not. Just observe, whenever we are doing insert or update with the list, we have to check empty check. If it is, suppose I will not check, what it will happen? Suppose I will not check, what it will happen? Suppose assume that here there is no list, here it is not added, to the list. Assume that this condition is there, not there. Suppose directly we are adding like this, then what it will happen? System it will throw an error message. This is a empty and you are trying to inserting, or nothing is there, you are trying to inserting. So it will display an error message. So that's why whenever we are trying to inserting a list, you have to always check empty check. You have to always check empty. This is the best practice. So any questions on this one? Now we are clear, right? Why we are going with the after insert? My requirement is we are trying to creating one account record. Yes, account record is successfully created in the table. Then I want to create a contact record. Okay, so that's why we are going with the after insert. Suppose anyone will ask why you are going with the after case. What is the difference between before and after? Whenever we are trying to creating a record or updating a record or deleting a record, and we are doing something in one object and we are expecting the result in different objects. Here we are performing our operation in account object, right? Where we are expecting the result. What is the result? Contact record we have to create. What is a contact? It is a different object. So the result is in different object. Now here we are trying to taking a account record. For each account record, we are trying to preparing a contact. See here, preparing a contact. So while preparing a contact, last name is a mandatory. How we know last name is a mandatory means you have to go to the front end and you have to verify. You have to create one dummy contact record. Yes, last name is mandatory. Last name is same name as the account name. Then the next one is what? We have to create a contact. We have to create a account record. We have to create we have to create a contact record. For which account? See, suppose I will not add this line, then what it will happen? Create a contact record, but it will not link to this account. Our target is to link to this account only, right? For this account only, we have to create a contact record, right? To this account only, we have to create a contact record, right? Okay, that's why this link is very important. This link is very important. We are trying to creating a contact record, yes. For which account? That account is nothing but lookup field, that is front end account name, back end it is a account id. That here we are linking account dot id. Then we are preparing one list. So suppose I will directly use here, then what it will happen? Suppose we are doing bulkify things, that time it is we will get a performance issue. Okay, performance issue means we are clear. Suppose in interview they will ask what is the problem. Suppose sometime anyone will ask, we will not directly say performance issue. We are in a position to explain clearly what is a performance issue here. Suppose you are creating 100 account records by using data loader. You specify the batch size as a 100. So the system trigger.new, it will collect the 100 records. From the 100 records, first it will take the first record and it will prepare a contact. So suppose we will directly insert means it will insert that contact record. Yes, when inserted, our triggers it will fire. So triggers it will fire means still the transaction is not completed, because the boss wait, you have to wait. Whatever the first record is there, right? Account record not yet inserted. Wait, again contact triggers are firing. Yes, contact triggers are completed, then account record is successfully committed. Okay, account record is successfully committed. Okay, that is the case. So that's why there is a performance issue. That's why what here we are doing, we are adding to the list here. We are adding to the list here. So while inserting, we are trying to checking empty check. This is also important. I'm using not symbol. I'm using not symbol. And one more thing here, insert is there. We have database dot insert is there. Database dot insert, database dot update, database dot delete is there. Suppose I will use this one. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? Database is a class. Okay, see, go to here. This is also very important. Database class in Salesforce. Database class here. Database class is there. Now go to here. Database dot delete is there. Scroll down here. Insert is there. See, insert is there. See here. Insert. Database dot insert. Okay, for example, database dot insert in Salesforce. Insert in Salesforce. See, database class. Go to here. Take this one. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference directly insert? What is the difference database dot insert? Suppose I am trying to inserting 100 records. This is my CSV file. 100 account records we are inserting. This is 100 records. This is 100 records. This is 100 records. We are trying to inserting 100 records. We are trying to inserting 100 records. So our trigger it will fire. What is our trigger? After insert trigger it will fire. So here in this 100 records, suppose one record some validation error is there. Suppose I will not provide last name. Okay, suppose last name or account name I did not provide. Account name I did not provide. Yes, trigger is firing. While trigger is firing, last name it will come as a null or something. Assume that one record, with the one record, this batch is not getting inserted. What I am trying to say is, we are inserting 100 records at a time. By using data loader, we are trying to inserting 100 account records at a time. Due to some data issue or some validation, one record is failure. Then what happened? Suppose I will use insert. In this case, what happened? Those transaction 100 records, it will not committed into the database. Those 100 records, it will not committed into the database. It will stop. But one problem is there. One record is getting failure. So those remaining record also I will not insert. So those one record is failure. Suppose I am trying to inserting 100 account records, 100 account records at a time. Suppose some data issue or some validation rule or some other problem, one record there is an issue, and the system is not inserting one record, then what happened with this insert? What this insert it will tell, boss, one record is some failure, so complete 100 records I will not insert. Complete that transaction I am roll back, revert back. I will not commit. Remaining records also I will not commit. If all are okay, then only I am ready to insert. If one is failure, then I will revert back. One is failure, I will revert back. Now coming into here, database.insert. Here you have to observe this list comma false. This list comma false. Suppose I will not use like this. Suppose I will use like this. Then both are same. Both are same. One record is failure, complete transaction, it will roll back. So suppose I will use false, then what it will happen? 100 record we are inserting. One record is there is an error. No problem. Separate that error record. Remaining 99 records you have to insert. That is nothing but a database.insert. Whenever we are using false statement, what it will happen? So failure records it will separate. Whatever the records are failure, it will separate. Those success record, those records success record, it will automatically committed into the database. Now your next question is, was how we know this record is success or this record is failure? Yes, there are some methods are there to capture the success record and to capture the failure record. Go to here. Okay, 1 second. Go to here. Not this one. Any questions or any confusion? See here. See, database dot insert. Here I am using false. Suppose I will not use false, then what it will happen? Both are same. Both are same. See, both are same. This one and this one is same. Suppose we will use false, then what happened? Failure record, you have to separate it. Success record, yes, go and insert successfully. So now my next step is how to capture. How we know this record is failure or this record is success? Yes, there is an option. You have to collect that failure records here. Database.save result. In interview also definitely they will ask what is the difference between insert and database.insert. Insert means suppose we are trying to inserting 100 records at a time. The batch size is 100. Any failure within those 100 records, the complete transaction it will roll back. It will revert back. But database.insert that list comma false means that failure record it will separate and success record it will successfully commit it. So now we want to capture this failure records. How to capture is nothing but save result is there. Here you have to observe for loop. No need to remember the syntax, just remember the concept. Just remember the concepts here. Now failure record, success records here. The complete record I am taking, whether it is a success or failure I am not guaranteed. Now here we have one method is there. If this variable name is there, right, this variable I am taking this complete list. In this list it will capture success record, failure record. Now I want to bring back the success record. These are the success records, these are the success record, and the next one is nothing but these are the failure records. These are the failure records here. How we are trying to capturing? Sr.get errors here. Sr.get errors, get method, get message, get fields here. Database.error is there, right? Database.error. So here we are trying to getting the failure record. Now we are clear, right? See here, database.save result, it will capture all the result, whether it is a success or failure. I'm using false here. False means it will separate the success record and it will separate the failure record. Now we want to get the success record. How to get the success record? SR list means SR dot is success. Yes, success means it will generate an ID, right? We will just go on to use this ID. Okay. So suppose I want to find the reason. What is the failure? Why it is failure? Then I'm just using else part here. This is nothing but sr.get errors. These are the failure. So in interview also definitely they will ask any questions. Now we are guarantee, right? What is after insert? What is I mean insert statement, update it statement, delete statement before in database dot insert, database dot update, database delete. We are guarantee, right? Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay. In the next session, 1 second. I'll copy this code. Okay. In the next session, we will discuss one more examples here. In the next session, what is my example is Coming into the security. Now I am trying to creating one account record. Click on the save button. Then who will access this particular record? Who will access this particular record? Okay. Generally, the account owner will access that particular record. See, your account owner will access that particular record. Suppose I will just go and create one field. That field is a lookup field. That field is a lookup field. Go to here. Go to here. Go to fields. Click on this new button. Click on this new button. I am trying to creating a lookup field. You go to here, lookup field. Click on this next button. Click on this next button. Now go to here. Look up to the user object. Look up to the user object. Click on the next button. Click on the next button. And now he is a sales rep. Is a sales rep. Is a user. It is a lookup field to the user. My requirement is, suppose you are trying to creating a new account record. Suppose you are trying to creating a new account record, and sales rep field, it is a mandatory field. Assume that sales rep field, it is a mandatory field. For sales rep also, you have to give the permission on this particular record. Generally, one account record is there. Who will access that particular record? Generally, owner will access that particular record, or owner's supervisor also it will access by using OWT, and by using sharing rules also are there. But my requirement is, you are trying to creating one account record. While creating an account record, we will also provide access to this particular user. See, Akira, this one user is there. For this user also, you have to provide access on this particular record. You will also edit this record. For example, go to here. I will try to change the sales representative from Akira Moite to some other user. Yes, you have to remove the old user from this particular record, and you have to provide for the current user permission on this particular record. Okay, this is my requirement. This requirement we will discuss in the next session. Any questions? Any question? This is for today's session. You have any questions? Let me know.